Speaking of creamy stuff, I'm very concerned now because Quan had me taste this creamy cilantro dressing yesterday.
Oh, he thought it was so good.
So creamy.
I didn't know what the special ingredient came from Wuhan.
That is fantastic. What's up, everyone? It's the Any Given Sunday podcast. This is week 10. We're covering the fantasy football season. It's Rebel Scum on here with the pod squad tonight. We have an exciting week tonight. We have a few ridiculously high scores. Winning streaks continue. Flawless victories, all that shit. Before we get into it, let's introduce the pod squad, starting with the high score of the week, the Ambassadors. Mr. Quan.
What's up, fellas? Coming from Quan's kitchen.
So good.
Cooking up the high score. But hey, once again, another blessed week. Feeling good. But that's an anomaly, man. That kind of stuff it's crazy. Jonathan Taylor, Devon A-Chain, but we're good. We're blessed. We're happy moving forward. Love, life, community, and the dollars too. Quan.
Oh, yeah. Man, that was corny. But, I mean, when your running backs put up 100 points between the two of them, I guess you can say corny shit.
Talking about that was on point. That was
You know what, man?
The point of the cob.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you were doing there, Quan. I really like what you were doing there. And the running backs, that's why I sent that eye emoji. I went to check the scores and look at everyone's scores after the first games. And I was like, I wonder which guys scored Quan 54.5 points. And then I saw one guy did. And I was like, what the fuck happened?
There's
Holy
this funny
smokes.
Video I saw on Instagram today of this guy waking up all excited. He's got his jersey on, ready to watch some fantasy football. Looks at his phone, sees what Jonathan Taylor put up in the Germany game, and puts his phone down, pulls his blanket up, and goes right back.
Goes right to the fucking back. Oh, man.
That was the curse.
That was rough, man. 54.5, but well done, Quan. We'll talk more about it, I'm sure. NJC, defending champ, gets another win. Well done this week, NJC.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to be in the winning column again. But 192 points, 152, 162, 182. That's a lot of points y'all fuckers be putting up, man. So happy to get a W, but I
said it a few weeks ago about this echelon of teams and tier of teams, and definitely seeing that separation late in the season. Speaking of one of those teams, Commissioner Siebert Frogs, welcome back. Frogs, well done this week.
Always glad to be here. I need some more energy from my co-hosts. They're just getting so used to winning. There's no excitement anymore. It's just like another week, another win. But clear eyes, full hearts, 38 points from Stafford. Can't lose.
Yep.
I noticed.
Did you watch that game in person? Oh wait, no, they were up in the Bay. That was an interesting game.
It was an interesting day of watching games. That one, we had the joy of bringing in Quan's daughter's 7th birthday. Shout out JoJo, happy birthday. She went from 6 to 7. That was the theme. And they had the game on there, man. So I got to watch it. It was interesting because there were a lot of emotions in my game, and when we get to the breakdown, I'll talk about it. But I was able to see Stafford ball out once again and bring me the victory in front of a house full of Rams fans.
Yeah, I'm sure it felt good to be a Rams fan. Didn't it feel good to be a Rams fan, Lewis?
Life is pretty good, as a Rams fan. If you're from
I was wondering, how come when we talk about the Raiders, there's the need to talk about the Rams, right? Why can't we just talk about how shitty the Raiders are without talking about how good it is to be a Rams fan? It's always like that little twinge of guilt of your former life as a Raider that you just have to bring it back to how good life is
It's
now.
not guilt. It is a proposition for you guys to just the leftover Los Angeles Raider fans need to just come over to the Los Angeles Rams and stop bullshitting. They don't care about you in Las Vegas. They have no ties to California or Los Angeles anymore. You have a home team.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
And if you don't,
yeah.
and if you're an anti-hero, you can be a Chargers fan because they at least have a winning record.
Yeah. I'm curious though. I want to bring this up because it was on the thread. Nobody responded but Rudy. But I'd like to know from the other co-hosts, who I believe everyone's Laker fans, right? Would you?
I don't think Frogs is a Lakers fan. Frogs.
I just didn't grow up in a basketball household, so I'm not like a diehard Laker fan. I've been to quite a few Laker games. It was obviously living here during the Kobe Bryant era was epic. So I've been to Laker parades. I have Laker gear, but I'm not like, I'm not the guy that's posting the meme where it's like all the LA teams' hands are in and then they're nudging the Clippers out. I'm not. I'm not the.
That's me.
I'm not the ride or die Laker fan like you guys. So yeah, man, I was raised in a baseball, football household.
We'll accept your Laker fandom as passive as it may be. We'll accept it, man. Quan, how are you gonna ask me if I'm a Lakers fan with this big ass Shepherd Ferry Kobe print and this little Lakers ball down here? Is it not on the camera?
Fan, it's no secret. You're a Lakers fan.
I feel like that hypothetical, like the Lakers would never move to Las Vegas.
Can I propose a hypothetical? They don't. The audience does not know for all our listeners who aren't on our text thread. And be honest, co-host. Be honest. Don't just say what you're going to say to support that you still cheer for the Raiders. But if the buses just, oh my God, y'all hear all that in the background?
Not really.
No, but the buses don't own the Lakers anymore. It's Mark Walters.
If the new ownership up and abandoned LA and took the Lakers to Las Vegas, will you cheer for the Las Vegas Lakers? Honestly.
Yes. Yes, because Quan, I already explained this, and the listener doesn't know this, but on the thread we had this similar discussion. I've moved out of state. I lived out of state. The Raiders left LA around the same time I moved out of California, out of LA, out of the area. And I still cheered for them. I cheered for the Dodgers. It is true that I got an affinity for the Mariners and the Griffey era and the Sonics living up there. I saw a lot of them on TV, but moving back, like none of that has to do with anything because, I'm rooted in the history of the fandom. I'm rooted in the memories. I'm rooted in the legacy. They could definitely move to Las Vegas, and I would still cheer for them for sure, man. It would suck. It'd be painful. It'd be weird. Just like the Raiders moving to Vegas is weird. It doesn't make any sense. They should be LA's other team. The Chargers are, just a disgrace. They should have moved to Vegas. But yeah, of course, I would still cheer for them, 100%. No doubt.
So that's it makes kind of sense, Nick, because you're talking about all these different places you lived, and so therefore I can understand you being more loyal to a franchise than a city because you're not really rooted. I don't know. Doesn't sound like you're really.
No, you're right. You're right. My roots have been,
like So
no,
BC,
right.
where do you stand on that?
I understand both sides of the argument. The good news is I don't think the Lakers are ever going to leave Los Angeles, so I never really have to officially make this.
The hypothetical. Do not.
But
create
no,
your own hypothetical.
You know what? I'm going to have to say it depends, Lewis. A place like Las Vegas that doesn't lean on any type of territory. Yeah, I would fucking sell. I'm not going to fucking be a Clippers fan, so I would definitely cheer for the Lakers. But let's say the Lakers move to like New York or like oh, you know what I'm saying, like Boston or some weird shit. No, fuck that shit. They moved to like, you know what I mean? Like that's different. You move to a fucking territory that we hate. So I think that's kind of I hope that answers it right.
The Dodgers actually have a real life example of this because there are definitely still
Brooklyn to LA.
Dodger fans that have passed that legacy on to their family that still cheer for the Dodgers that are like born and raised in Brooklyn.
Yeah. But I think it's a split fandom, right? I think there's New York people who wear Brooklyn hats and there's people who won't touch a Brooklyn hat because they're New York Yankee fans. So I think it would be the same type of sentiment if the Lakers did something like that or something, you know what I mean? So
you would not be a fan if they moved to a different city? I would be a fan no matter where they move.
If they move to like a rival city, no. But if they move to like a city that, you know what I mean?
Diego, the San Diego Lakers. Ooh, that'd be tough.
It would suck, but I would.
San Diego's a great city. Why not?
The alternative is the Clippers, bro. So I'm gonna follow the Lakers unless LA gets a new team. I get it.
I mean, I would still have little love for the Lakers. I still have love for the Raiders. But as far as claiming my team, it'd have to be the Clippers. That's my LA team now. It isn't pretty, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
like I would feel really.
I like that face, Coop.
I would feel really abandoned if the Lakers left LA. That would just be ridiculous.
I would too, but I'm not cheering for the Clippers.
To support them.
I'm not cheering for the Clips, bro.
That's a hot take, man. I don't know if I've ever heard of a Laker fan who said they would just swap over to the Clippers if they were the only team in town.
Well, look at Quan, though. Quan, I mean, Quan was a Raiders fan, and then he swapped over. But it all makes sense. I don't necessarily think that's bad. I just think it's egregious that you're inviting other people over the way that you're inviting people over, like to share. I think Frog is onto something. Like, hey, shared my guilt. Like we can, like, let me at least bring you down here with me.
We'll float down here. Yes, we do. It is a share my guilt.
They all float down here.
It is the happiness and glory of being a Rams fan. It is so much better. It's so much better.
Come on, kiddies. Take my
now
we're
winning.
It is, yeah, exactly. It's not because you guys are good. You guys are good, but you guys will not always be good. It's inevitable. It's sports, man. It'll flip the other way. Eventually, a coach, a man. Look at the Patriots. I mean, they're good now, but they went through a few rough years. They had to watch.
They go through decades of.
But see, and that's what I was going to say, Luke.
Yeah, but now it's part of the personality. It's like being a Cubs fan or a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say.
You're just like waiting for them to crack off. It'll happen.
Yeah, like you're saying, Nick, the Rams aren't going to be on top. No team is on top forever. But the good news about being a Rams fan is it always is going to feel like and be like it's not going to be too far off from us to get back in the mix. Like it's not happening.
I'd like you diehard Rams fans to do a historical presentation on the Rams because you guys, this is recency bias. And as soon as Sean McVay retires, which he's already hinted at, you guys are going to be shit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Look,
and I'm still going to be a Rams fan.
The Rams organization is
NJC's been a Rams fan for 3 years.
It's a solid organization.
Hey,
that
organization, 3 years. Hey, that's long enough to get the pension in the NFL. So that's long enough for me.
Every year they make great.
I've been a Rams fan for a long.
I've been a Rams fan for 127 days.
As long as they've been in,
I will always be a Rams fan.
As long as they have been in SoFi, I have been a Rams fan from the beginning. What can you say?
All right, so 5 years. Okay, right on. That's 5. Like since I won the Super Bowl, I've been a Rams fan. That's cool though. That's
your
fine.
Rams fandom has graduated from kindergarten. Congratulations.
But you guys are lifelong Dodger fans. Well, some of you are. So I mean, there was a long time where our team was terrible, and now we're not. So I just hope I see the Raiders win one Super Bowl.
That's a good point, Nick. But you know what? Dodgers, I think Dodgers are ethereal, bro. Like the logo. Just being from LA, just everything. Like Dodgers don't have to ever win the World Series again in my fucking life, and I'm still gonna be a Dodger fan for the rest of my life, bro. Like that LA logo, just everything about the Dodgers is dope to me. Mookie, just Magic owning them. They don't have to do shit for the rest of my life, bro, and I'm still gonna be a fan.
I mean, don't say all that, but I know what you mean. But you know,
you feel what I'm saying? Like, I hope they win.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
if we're talking about staying loyal to a team that in a drought, that's a perfect example. That would be me. I would be 100% loyal.
Yeah. So you know what, Quan, we'll see. We'll see in another few years because fandom is forever, man. Fandom is forever. But yeah, you'll have your opportunities to test it. Let's crack off with your top three. Everyone's always excited about this, man. We love this segment.
NJC's biased top three. What's cracking, fantasy warlords? Welcome back to NJC's top three. If you scored under 100 points this week, stop listening. You're not worthy. We've got 3 wins that were so disrespectful they should be suspended. Get ready because we're dissecting the greatest victories that served up the biggest L's. Rudy coming in number 3, the full sin follies. Rudy, you didn't just win against Rebel Scum. You committed an act of economic violence. The final score of 140-74 isn't a game result, it's a murder conviction. This was less a competition and more a public execution. Rudy showed up in a tank while Rebel Scum brought a soda cracker. No pun intended. They forced the opponent to wave the white flag, and Rudy ran over the flag just for good measure. All right, number 2, Coastal Havoc.
What is a soda cracker?
I don't know, but that shit was funny, man. No pun intended. How dare you? Call me. Yes.
It's like a saltine?
Yeah, but they have a buttery flavor, right? Come on.
Oh, you're saying literally what is a soda cracker? Yeah, like a saltine cracker. Yeah. Coming in number 2, Coastal Havoc. Oh, the brutal beatdown of the Broadway's rebuilding, whatever you said, bruh. The word blowout doesn't do this justice. You didn't beat T. Ruth. You delivered a 90-point beatdown, or whatever that is, a 70, 80-point beatdown, and sent a message written in your opponent's tears. This was a hostile takeover of T. Ruth's season. Coastal Havoc seized control of the narrative and never looked back. T. Ruth's players put up points like they were actively trying to lose the game. It's what we called a statistical curb stomp. And then for number 1,
wait, I gotta chime in here and just mention that this is unheard of. You know, the Bussy franchise would never treat Papa in this fashion. It's a new world, counselor. It's a new world.
Yeah, this is dark blonde beard Hulk Hogan. This is a whole different kind of ball.
Hollywood Hulk.
New world order.
Hollywood Hulk.
This is Hollywood Hulk. All right, number 1. Ambassadors of Quan, the nuclear detonation. The number 1 win of the week goes to Quan for dropping a score so high it should come with a disclaimer. This wasn't a game. It was a once-in-a-lifetime statistical glitch. And the curse had the misfortune of being the victim. The score is what happens when you accidentally press God mode button on the fantasy app. The Ambassadors didn't earn this. They just stumbled into a jackpot.
Oh.
They got to be the lucky beneficiary of the most synchronized running back explosion the league has ever seen. And that's it for NJC's top 3. If you're wondering how your team performed, ask yourself this. Did you score more than just one running back did?
Stumbled.
If the answer is no, you're irrelevant. Thanks a lot. Fuck you guys.
Stumbled into a jackpot, right? How long have these guys been on my team?
You've never gotten 100 points from 2 players.
All right. How long?
It's hard to shots at such a dominant performance, not just this week, but this season. Quan does not want to talk about it, but we're going to get into his dominance this year. And can it hold up?
Yeah, let's talk about it right now.
Let's talk about it. Yes, let's do what those
193.
Yeah.
I mean, it was over with just Jonathan Taylor alone sealed the deal for you. But A-Chain went off like you'd always predicted, like you'd hoped and dreamed, like we'd heard of ad nauseum since you drafted that little guy. So, yeah, take us through the emotions. And I know Frog's got some spicy notes on this.
Go ahead, Frogs.
Well, I just want to say one thing you mentioned in the top 3 NJC in relation to score. And speaking of statistical glitches, there is no way, like there has to be a statistical glitch in that Rudy game that set the record of like 216 points. Like, what could his players have possibly done to outdo what Quan did this week? So maybe we're not going to see those anymore. Maybe the scoring changes have adjusted to the point where we're not seeing these crazy 200 plus numbers. But I do want to mention that we're witnessing, the whole campaign, witness LeBron James. We're witnessing the greatest so far. There's a few weeks left. There's another month to go. There's a postseason. But so far, the greatest single season in AGS history. Quan is 10-0. The best record in AGS history, I had to go back, looking over our 19-year history. The accidental champion Voodoo, actually in 2019, had the best record in AGS all-time, 13-2. No one has finished the season with less than 2 losses, let alone ran the table. And Quan right now has been running the table.
Swing, swing, tempo.
Not looking so sick no more, are you, Quan?
Well, look, I mean, it's kind of tough to get excited when you've been to the championship 3 times in a row and lost. I mean, if this was like a singular run, then you probably get a totally different type of reaction. But the goal is to win the championship. I mean, I think Nick has said it before, no one goes undefeated. So we'll see. I still have 2 playoff teams left to play.
But so far you are undefeated. You've now reached double-digit wins. We have 4 regular season games left. And I think and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I looked at the data. In all of your previous runs, you've had 3 or more losses. And that is not looking likely unless the wheels fall off in this last month.
The fantasy gods are blessing the Quan this year, and I'm very grateful.
You have a good friend. I think it's a school dad friend that you've actually mentioned possibly inviting him to join the podcast. I'm looking forward to that. I had a chance to have a conversation with him, and when I mentioned fantasy football, his eyes lit up. But tell us when you told about your recent runs to the championship, who did he compare you to?
He brought up he incorrectly brought up the Buffalo Bills, but the Quan has won a championship. Buffalo Bills never won a championship.
So it's not just the pod squad that is compared to.
We're 1 for 3. We're 1 for 3.
And this was him not knowing anything we talk about on the podcast.
Technically 1 for 4 if you want to count 2 years prior to this 3-year run. So, but look, this team has been in the making for years. I think this is one of their last years, on top. Kittle has come back. I got lucky in drafting and grabbing some quarterbacks off waivers. And then honestly, I think this is an interesting year because we've had more tanking in like the teams that are out of the playoffs have totally given up this year, which kind of makes
that T. Ruth could have potentially, I don't know if he could have beat you or not, but if he still had Derrick Henry, he would have gave you a run for your money last week.
Yeah, he may have won. I think Derrick Henry put up like 20 or something. I don't know, but we have a lot of teams that threw in the towel this year. So, it's and you can see it's a lot of teams that are. I mean, they're just cranking off wins, and the only teams they're losing to are the other playoff teams. So I've just been lucky to stay on the streak. So, but yeah.
Well, your starting quarterback this week, Drake May, is the current, I don't know if you know this, the current Vegas odds favorite for NFL MVP in competition with the Quan's own Jonathan Taylor, and your LA Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford.
You know, Matthew Stafford is interesting. I hope that doesn't come to haunt me, because I wanted Stafford from Rudy. He didn't want to give him to me, and then he drops him. But at that point, I already paid draft picks for Dak Prescott, so I couldn't drop him and grab Stafford. So, although you could, but I don't know. Stafford's having an amazing year. I'm still waiting for the year that I draft a fantasy relevant Rams player so I can cheer for my team and my player when I go to these games.
Thoughts on your wide receiver one, Amon-Ra St. Brown, pointing at President Donald Trump's suite and doing the Trump dance to celebrate his touchdown this weekend?
You know, I got nothing but love for Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Can we get the dance? Can we get the dance, Quan?
Yeah, I think it's pretty on point there. I got nothing but love.
You got to put the music to that.
Amon-Ra is my guy. He's another one of those players, 4th, 5th round pick for the Quan, that has just sustained my team for a long time, and HN. But Amon-Ra, this dude, he's a property owner. He doesn't wear jewelry. He's staying true to his day one. I mean, I don't know if he really is a Trump supporter or if that was just a touchdown dance that he decided to do. But
he is from Orange County.
Yeah, and his dad has that kind of vibe. That kind of blacks for Trump vibe. I kind of get it.
Any idea what, and I don't know if you guys all saw this, but shortly after the Trump dance, this defensive lineman from Washington Commanders reached all the way back and just cold clocked Amon-Ra on the side of the head. Any idea why? I haven't heard. I don't know if it was.
That was an hour to half an hour to an hour later. Like, it was way afterwards. But it was a nice move that they cut it as if he got smacked.
Well, I'm not even talking about the cut, but like, why? What was the impetus?
Amon-Ra was talking shit. He must have said something that cut deep. Because dude cocked back. It was a cock back. It was, but did you see that Amon-Ra did not even move? That dude is a brick. He got a full-blown lineman cocked back and smacked him in the face, and he didn't move 1 inch.
You could thank his dad. That's a weightlifting, neck exercises, protein steaks, protein shakes from pre-K to 2025. So that neck's not moving.
No.
Kind of like my wife.
Absolutely.
Neck.
I felt it coming.
Neck don't work.
But thanks.
Oh, amazing.
I'm worried. Hey, Lennon and NJC, both your guys' teams are just as super. So it is, nothing's guaranteed. Looking at your guys' lineup, I still think Saquon Barkley is the best player in the league. He is the best player. He may not be having the best fantasy year, but I mean, you saw today that dude. What players can just shake and bake and spin a dude out of socks in open field, gain 60 yards to win the game? Like,
yeah, but that needs to convert to fucking points. But thank you.
See points.
Well, that goes to the conversation that we had about just the beauty of what we're seeing from Jonathan Taylor, right? Like, I have, and I'm going to talk about it in my game, like, Bijan is regressing this year. Saquon's regressing this year. There's something about the speed combined with the body type of Jonathan Taylor where he can just do every run. He can catch, he can run inside the tackles, he can run outside, he has the speed, and they just go to him. They feed him. I think he had 32 rushes. Like, no one else is getting that. No one is as dependent on their running back as Jonathan Taylor is. I mean, as the Colts are with Jonathan Taylor, and I love it, man. As a fantasy football player, that's all you want. You want your stud to be fed.
Yeah. Awesome. He's just like in peak flow state in every game pretty much. That's why the Steelers game was such an aberration. And really, Quan, the whole team is firing on all cylinders. It's hard. I know what you're doing, so I guess I'll try to be excited for you. It would be hard not to be, knowing that you have these guys hitting these strides, and with enough, with the depth, with the way the season has been going, it's you still got some more to go, but you just gotta be.
Can he do the impossible?
Oh,
Can he go 14-0 and then run the table in the postseason? An undefeated Miami Dolphins type season. Would it be 16-0?
Yes, in his
16-0.
case it would be, because he'd have the bye and he'd have to win the
Can the
semifinal.
Quan go 16-0? The pressure is on.
Oh, wow. How nervous will you be when you make the playoffs if you're undefeated at that point? You don't want to squeeze one out then, dude. You don't want to lose.
Will the pod ever let you forget it if you go 14-0
No.
and lose in the semifinals?
Absolutely not. Or even in the Super Bowl, because he'd still be like, well, I made it, so I'm still a dynasty. And even bringing this back full circle before we move on, even your friend with no knowledge, despite the fact that you had won, which I'm sure you brought up multiple times, he's like, oh, you remind me of the Bills. Oh, man. But you know what? Congratulations, Quan. Shout out to the other OG. Curse is going to bounce back next week because he's playing me, so he'll be fine. And once you make the playoffs, anything can happen there. So, but well done, Quan. Way to keep that train rolling. NJC, let's bounce over to you. You had the other least engaging, least competitive matchup here. But anything you want to carry over, obviously, besides the win into next week? Anything you're kind of thinking about moving into your next matchup?
Well, I mean, I appreciate Lou's comments about, the potential of the squads, dude, but my shit is, I need consistency. I want to be trending up, and I'm kind of hitting it like a little heartbeat. So I don't know, man. I'll take the wins as I can, and just hope that as we get closer to playoffs, should my team make it, we can start being a little bit more consistent with scoring. Like, I'll take it. We're scoring consistently. I mean, last week was 146. This is 127. So I gotta, playoffs, you gotta be ready to put up 150 and up.
By the sound of your voice, I feel like we're not going to get a 15-player breakdown this week.
No, man.
I think it's about to end soon.
I have one observation. Despite the W, and Awumi came back down to earth. When you trade 3 draft picks for Justin Jefferson, I think you're hoping for a little bit more than 4 catches and 37 yards.
Yeah, man. It's not looking like JJ McCarthy's the guy. The good news is that this is obviously a long-term investment. The better news is that the points that I was hoping for out of Justin Jefferson is coming from other receivers on the roster. So hopefully by the time I really need those flex points, there's been enough time for JJ and JJ to gel. Because it sounds great right on paper, JJ to JJ. They just need to start really doing it. So hopefully there's time for them to kind of solidify and gel more. And we'll see more towards the later end of the season.
About a month to 4 to 6 weeks in now that you traded for Justin Jefferson, Quan, you traded for Dak Prescott. Where do you guys stand with those, man? Clearly, you're saying it's a long-term plan. I think Quan's was more of a short-term plan. But any trade regrets at all, or none?
I think I didn't need to do it. At the time, it appeared I needed to, but I think I didn't really need to do. I mean, no one knew Drake May was that. What it was week 6. Drake May hadn't really broke out. I mean, he had potential, which is why I picked him up off waivers. But if you guys remember, I picked up Daniel Jones. He was my first waiver pickup, and then I grabbed May after that. So he was still out there. I could have still rolled with Jones and May, and then I surely would have picked up Stafford off of waivers if I didn't pay for Dak. But dude, Dak had like, I want to say 3 30-plus point games in a row before the trade deadline. So for a 4th-round pick and a contract, I thought that was a good deal.
Quan, a little bit of regret, and NJC.
I mean, obviously, I have a lot of bit of regret so far. I mean, I did trade a lot of future capital. The good news is that he's yet to have his breakout game this season. I hope it comes at the right time. But I mean, you know, everything looks good at the time we make these deals. So, you know, to ask me a question about, hindsight's always 2020. Do I have buyer's remorse? I guess yes, because I paid so much for somebody that theoretically could have been picked up off of a wire for the contribution. But the ceiling there is always greater than anybody I had or we could get at that time. So it is what it is.
Is JJ McCarthy leaving the Vikings anytime soon?
Not this season.
I was thinking that when he said that, JJ's not the guy. I was like,
He better become the guy.
Better become the guy.
He's going to be around for a couple more.
Well, you did say long-term investment. So, you know, you gave up, 3 years of draft picks, like 2 firsts and a second, right? So essentially,
I gave up what I think he has left in the league, basically.
yeah. Okay. All right. So, you know, maybe another training camp, another off season together, no injuries. Who knows what else is transpiring? They may have a new coach next season.
Yeah,
None of that sounds actually positive at all. But I'm glad that Frogs was able to get suss out of Quan the admission that it was a bad trade, because I kind of poked at it the last couple of weeks. I asked you, Quan, about it. And, you know, I just don't. I'm in such a shit spot in my season. It's just nice to know that even the winners have their own regrets. So at least like I can just say, all right, well, at least I didn't trade away 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. And then, you know, at least I didn't do that.
Trading Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
Talk about it, what?
Yes. Right.
That we can talk about.
Don't regret that. But you know what? It's hard to talk about trades on the pod because you really don't want to. I don't know. You don't want to show your hand, basically. But I don't know. I was very transparent with Sinkay though, and he didn't pay a lot for Brian Thomas Jr. But I told him, I was like, this year's a wash, man. And if you don't have any keepers, you can take this dude, and you have no keepers. He has potential. He was a record-breaking rookie wide receiver. And now he's not clicking with his quarterback. Next year, he could be great, you know. But at the time, after watching him, I don't know. I'm getting Allen Robinson vibes from him, man. I'm getting these vibes that maybe we underestimated Matt Jones. You know, maybe we overrated him. He was the number 2 in college to Malik Neighbors, and he also was playing for a great quarterback that just aired it out to him. But it's not working with Trevor Lawrence. But saying, you know, there is a possibility, and that's probably why Sinkay paid up. Is he gets traded next year and he becomes a number 1 receiver with a quarterback that's going to give him the ball how he needs it, you know, where he wants it. So
I like the Allen Robinson comp, man. That guy season to season would just get dumped and then traded or, you know, picked up on somebody else's roster. And there's always a sense that this dude could break out. That's kind of like Josh Gordon. Oh,
yeah.
Josh Gordon.
Martavius Bryant. Yeah. He was another one. Yeah. But he like, and it's going to happen. Like, Sinkay may keep him there. He'll keep him next year. Let's say he drops him, and then all of a sudden, Patriots or the Bills pick him up as the number 1 receiver. He's going to be a 2nd-round draft pick again. You know, like Allen Robinson was when he came to the Rams. So, but we'll see.
Well,
they didn't trade him. The Jaguars didn't trade him, so obviously They must believe.
Good quarterbacks make all the difference. Before we jump into the commissioners' exciting playoff match-worthy game, let's just talk about mine real quick. I don't have a good quarterback. This is Daniel Jones, not Danny Dimes. This is the old guy, not the new guy. He's on a bye next week, so I'm really cooked. Doesn't matter playing the curse. Who cares? Rudy, though. Nice job, Rudy. Baker Mayfield. What a stud. Can't believe all those teams let him walk away before the Bucs reinvigorated his career. Nice job picking him up. What a steal. Nico Collins bounced back. I think Rudy on the last episode of the podcast wasn't feeling so great and a little shaky about his performance. Look at Kyron Williams, though. I helped put that number 2 pick on the board along with every other pick on Rudy's roster. But that one was the one I knew was going to happen when it happened and just couldn't believe it was happening, man. Like, can't believe I let this dude go. Sorry to be a dead horse, NJC, but as a Rams fan, like, I don't even like the Commanders, man. I just fucking happen to live around where the guy went to high school, and like I just visit his high school annually for work-related reasons. And I'm like, that's my dude. You're like, Kyron Williams, you play for my favorite team, and I can see whatever I want. Get the hell out of my get off my team.
I totally saw this season going a different way in my mind, bro. I saw Kyron possibly getting injured. I saw him possibly getting eclipsed by Corum. All the fantasy pundits were low on Kyron. Yeah, man. I miss my Kyron.
Also, NJC, you may have forgotten, is when you dropped Kyron, I don't believe he had a contract at the time. And he didn't sign until after our keepers were announced. Yeah, I may be right. I don't know.
But you got to follow your heart, my friend. That's the bottom line. But well done, Rudy.
Hey, I got Scum. I got something to say. In what? It's crazy.
Dare you use my government name? They're gonna come after me.
Crazy. How the quarterback field this year, that a 19-point game is considered trash.
Yeah,
that's how good quarterbacks are playing now. Like a 19-point game is pretty solid normally.
Yeah, you're right about that, actually. And I was thinking about that the last couple of weeks, just how with Jaden Daniels getting hurt, just thinking ahead to next season, because again, that's where I'm at with my season right now. How you're right, 19, 20 points. I remember when 25 points used to be like, damn, you got balled. Now it has to be the floor, because, well, look at the competition, dude. You got running back scoring 60 points. You got, paired up with a 40 burger. That you have to. Tight ends hitting 20 spots. You just have to, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Drake May, how about this for a butterfly effect? Drake May was right there when I went to Michael Penix instead. And had I grabbed Drake May and just kept him, that 6th-round pick would have looked fucking genius. It didn't, though, and I still look like a turd. And that is what it is, man. But Rudy, well done, man. You're looking ahead, hopefully, to a few more wins and a playoff spot there, playoff berth secured in the bag. Mathematically, I think you just need a couple more, brother. So good luck to you. Froggy, big win, big matchup, highly anticipated. Take us through this one, man.
Yeah, real quick, man. I got a special guest here. I just want to give her flowers. My daughter, Adriana, she just finished basically a year of running nonstop track season with the LA Jets, rolled into cross-country season with the LA Jets, which rolled into cross-country season with Ocean Charter School. Just got back from her cross-country banquet with her school. She set her school came in number 2 in FIA, which is the charter public school league, number 2 overall cross country. Audie and her teammate Rosie, 7th graders, lead that team. She PR'd, want to say, just over 14 minutes, 2-mile race this year. She set a bunch of PRs with the Jets.
2 miles and 14 minutes? Wow.
So yeah, man, great season. I feel like she does everything we ask. She's an incredible athlete, and she still hasn't unlocked like her true potential. It's coming. There's going to be a coach, I feel like, in high school that's really going to pull it out. But we're shutting her down. She's run enough. She will not be running until 2026. So just want to give her props for a great performance this year, and enjoy the next 2 months off. Get your rest.
Congrats,
Hell
Audie.
yeah. Well
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Well said, Froggy. You're a wordsmith, and I could really feel those last few lines there, the true potential. Have me choked out, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. And well done to her. She can really run. That is amazing.
Man, I'll be honest, man. These kids, this age that all our kids are at, they're all just attitudes. They don't appreciate nothing. They don't listen. Jeez, sorry. Just look. I mean, like with Ade, she was just like, take your flowers, girl. Like this moment in time is like the best life is ever gonna freaking be, and they don't even understand that.
You can until you go through it, and then you see what it's like on the other side, and you're like,
I wish all I had to do was run.
yeah.
Well, we were all
Real.
Audie's age, and we all wanted to be adults. And then you become an adult, and you're like, "Shit, I wish I was a child."
What the fuck is this?
Some of us try to hang on a little bit longer. Fucking A. All right, moving on. Froggy, nice win.
All right. Thank you. A star was born this week, albeit on my bench, but not for much longer. It took 10 weeks of patience, but I finally got the performance. I spent a first-round pick on Trevion Henderson, went off this week for 150 yards, touchdown runs of 55 and 69 yards. It's funny, I saw a meme and it's the number 69 and the number 420 talking to 6'7" who's on the skateboard, and they're like, "We used to be cool too," and they're like, "Yeah, whatever, Unc." And 67's enjoying his day. Anyways, the Frogs have a new weapon to unleash heading into the final month of the regular season. As far as my matchup with Oops, you mentioned it, Scum. It did have a playoff feel to it. Out of all the games played, this was a well-fought battle between the two of us. I did not feel good. I felt sick to my stomach for the majority of the day when I realized that this loyalty to past performance with Garrett Wilson. I'm like, what could you possibly be thinking to start him coming back from injury with Justin Fields as his quarterback against the Cleveland Browns defense, Quan's Cleveland Browns defense? Like, what are you doing, man? So it was an emotional roller coaster starting him over Hendo and ATN, who both would have helped me score higher this week. The number 2 AGS ranking was on the line, particularly after the power rankings moved Oops ahead of me this week. I don't think Quan's a big proponent of power rankings, but I like it that things move on a weekly basis. And Oops took the number 2 spot this week. So I was, according to the power rankings, the underdog. It also had major potential implications on a postseason bye. Oops beats me. He owns the tiebreaker over me. And I would love to stay in the hunt for one of the buys. I think the 10-0 Quan has probably locked one up already. Egbuka, Devontae Adams, Juwan Johnson balled out for Oops. He made a prescient move, man. We made jokes about the Courtland Sutton trade, but shortly after trading him to the Curse, he went out and found the Broncos' new wide receiver one in Troy Franklin. More targets and more points than Sutton since week 7. I mentioned on last week's pod that this was going to come down to matchups. I did my homework. I talked a bit about our matchup, about McCaffrey going up against the Rams, about Herbert going up against the Steelers without his blindside tackle. And if you watch that game, Mike Tomlin was just attacking Herbert. I mean, and Harbaugh was attacking Aaron Rodgers. It was the perfect game that I wanted to see happen. Once I saw how the game was going, I felt confident that I was going to win. Oops was actually at Quan's house. I pulled up a chair next to me. I was like, let's watch this game, man. And he watched a few series and bowed out. He did not stay for the remainder of the game.
You know, I have to also jump in. Sorry, Coop. You beating Oops puts me back in first place in my division because now I own the tiebreaker over him and a better record. So I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that one. Yeah, thanks.
Hey, anything you could do for my fellow pod hosts.
Hey, thanks, man. I just want to try to shore up a spot in the playoff arena. That's it.
I say 8-2 is a beautiful record. Anyone would be proud to be rocking that record. And your team it's been consistent all season long. Froggy, proudly you built for this, and you also should take your flowers in this moment. So if you're being superstitious, let me just hand you your flowers as well. Just building a great team. All you guys on here with the wins. But the depth pays off, man. So Garrett Wilson gets hurt again. But you got Hendo, like you said, a new weapon unlocked. That's fucking rad. That's a good feeling getting in there in the playoffs. I'm hoping, I don't know, Caleb Johnson, maybe this time next year will be unlocked. So we'll find out.
Yeah, you know, Garrett Wilson goes out, but Rashee Rice comes back. I want to shout out Chris Olave, my highest non-quarterback scorer this week, 100 yards and a touchdown from a waiver wire pickup. He is the number 10 wide receiver in AGS. I want to give a special shout out to the Curse. After losing to over 100 points to Quan, I want to thank you for dropping Chris Olave, Curse, and letting him join my roster. But 8-2 is great. But, you know, my opponent next week, I got another game of the week. I'm going against 7-3 Rudy. And again, same situation as this week. Who you know, if Rudy wins, we're tied and he owns the tiebreaker. So it's another must win for me.
And that will be much more of a fight, Rudy. I guarantee it. Before we talk about those matchups next week, Quan, you got a little bit of the Blitz.
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Quan's Blitz. Cue the goats. All right, this week we have Coastal Havoc taking on T. Ruth. Coastal Havoc put a shellacking on T. Ruth, who normally owns these games against the former owner of this team, his Slurp and his number one fan, the Voo. But those days are done. Coastal Havoc really showed T. Ruth that it's a new day. You know, he owes it. A lot of his team performed well. 152 points is a lot, especially for a team that's 1-8. Kudos to Coastal Havoc by just, I mean, bringing this team back to life, and all the waiver wire moves that he's picking up is just showing, you know, that hey, we got somebody in this league that's gonna be trouble. And then on the T. Ruth, he's clearly checked out. We've questioned whether or not he's still in, but his scores and his gameplay is looking like he's out. Bill Krosky-Merritt, I mean, he just keeps starting 3 points. You know, for 0.5 for Romeo Dobbs, it's not looking good for T. Ruth.
I want to point out that the players that Bussy tried to run off, Gibbs and Genty, combined this week for 50 of those 150 points.
Wow. Yep. And Coastal Havoc, still that waiver wire pickup of Khalil Shakur is still, you know, paying off a nice solid floor, 9.5. I believe he grabbed Kate Otten off of waivers as well. And then he confidently started Jamal Williams, which is crazy. I mean, that guy has really been Jamison Williams, who really hasn't been I'll get them mixed up with Javonte. Jamison Williams, who really hasn't done much all season. I don't know if you guys know, but oh my God, I'm tapping the mind blank. The coach of the Detroit Lions, what's his name?
Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell is now calling the plays for Detroit. And so with that, he clearly is running up a lot of plays for Jamison Williams. I don't know what's going to happen with that offensive coordinator who took over for Ben Johnson, who's supposed to be a great mind in the league, but we'll see what happens.
Apparently, there's a rumor that Dan Campbell went to ChatGPT and said, "What would Bid Johnson do?" And that's how he came up with his play calling this week. Shout out ChatGPT.
I just want to point out the original projection for this game. Coastal Havoc was projected to score around 97 points. So, yeah, went a little above the projections. Quan, on to the next one.
All right, gentlemen. The next one is Penthouse Pimps and the Sugan D's. While the Sugan won, the Pimps slapped Sugan D's 120.5 to 83. Sugan D's is well on his way to either the second or first pick that he also covets. And Penthouse Pimps striving hard. I mean, he may be out of the playoffs, but it looks like he's still working hard for that consolation bracket. And kudos to Pimps for still staying in it. He owes it, Jalen Hurts didn't give him much, but with Jacoby Brissett, who's revitalizing all of the offensive players over there in Arizona, Trey McBride finally broke out, 24.5 points. Big touchdown from Devontae Smith on Monday night. And Breece Hall, finally did some with 19.5 points. Solid 120.5 from the Pimps. The Sugan, Bo Nix.
I have a couple notes about that. Do you mind, Quan, if I jump in?
Go ahead. Have at it. This is
Quan off the cup. I want to say that, Scum, we might be able to bury the butterfly effect with the 8-point output by Bo Nix. Also on the pod, I know I did. I don't know if I speak for everyone, but we encouraged Sugandis to put RJ Harvey into the starting lineup. And he gave him a whopping 4 rushing attempt, 9 rushing yards, 2 catches, 9 yards, 1 total point. Sugan, you could put him right back on the bench. And Keenan Allen, with the Michael Strahan record-breaking accomplishment at the end of that game, where they gave him, he became the highest reception leader for the Los Angeles Chargers on a little half a yard pitch pass from Justin Herbert to break the record. One of the greats from Cal, go Bears, but kind of a weird way to break that record.
I didn't know that was considered a pass. My bad, Nick.
No, it's fine. I was saying a poor joke about his hamstring getting blown out on that play, but oh yeah, and that does it for Quan's Blitz. Hey, everybody. That's a sick hat, by the way, man. I feel like I saw it in an NWA video. Moving on to next week, boy, I'm playing the Curse. Should be an easy one for him. I don't even know who's going to be my starting quarterback. Who cares? Good job, Curse. Siebert. These replacements, you mentioned that one already. That one is going to be tough, and this used to be, remember these matchups? These used to usually constitute a 90-minute minimum drive one way or the other. It used to be Thunderdome North or the fucking Escape from LA South. I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but either way, my point is that these used to be visitations, right, man? And here we are again, Rudy versus the Frogs. Maybe one day we'll get back to some of that.
It may be a visit, I encourage everyone to check in on Emmett and visit when you can. I might find a way to get over and watch the games with him. He did, for those that are on social media, he had a very inspiring post this week. He's got in the news that he will be leaving the hospital after spending over a year in the hospital. The goal is for him to be returning home next month. So we're happy for you, Rudy. Glad you're night and day from where you were when you entered the hospital. He's back in the gym. He's working out. He's getting stronger every day. So looking forward to catching up with you soon. As far as our matchup, I will be losing Olave and Tyler Warren to buys. I do get Mahomes and Rashee Rice back. Potentially, I have the ability to start Travion Henderson and the Patriots defense. against the lowly New York Jets on Thursday Night Football. Bijan, who I mentioned earlier in the pod, he scored 14 touchdowns last season. This year, he only has 2 touchdowns, and this week he got vultured by Tyler Algier twice. He's getting out touched within the 10 yards to the goal line by Algier all season, but he does get the Panthers defense this week. I got Stafford and Puka Nacua in a potential high score battle for the NFC West lead against the Seattle Seahawks. Rudy will be missing Alec Pierce, who has become the #1 wide receiver for the offensive juggernaut of the Indianapolis Colts. Mind you, that new owner is become my MILF of the year. I'm in love with her. I'm in love with everything she's doing with the team, putting the headphones on, buying drinks for people in Germany, for the fans that made it out, trading for Sauce Gardner. I'm in love with this woman. She is right now my favorite owner in the NFL, and I love a good MILF. Rudy gets T. Higgins back. We're not hearing great things about J.K. Dobbins' foot injury. He may be joining Bucky Irving down in the sunken place with Joe Mixon, just this weird injury where they're missing so much time. And Baker Mayfield will be going up against a Buffalo Bills, Quan-like Buffalo Bills defense, trying to save face after the debacle this week against the Miami Dolphins.
Boom. Hey, just real quick, Froggy. Bijan bounces back against the Panthers. No sweat. Train keeps on rolling. Bijan doesn't bounce back. Does it make roster decisions a little trickier for you going forward?
Like next season?
No,
Or
like
this
the
season?
following week and into the playoffs.
Oh man, he touches the ball a lot. He's just not getting those premium touches around the goal line. I almost need him to pop off for a 60-yard touchdown because he's just not getting it in the red zone. For this season, it's going to be tough, but it's very difficult to bench a guy like Bijan with that potential. On a positive note, Tyler Algier is a free agent after the season, so get the fuck out of Atlanta, please.
Get the fuck out of here. Stop taking my touches. Quan, the Blood Brothers match. This is it. GM versus GM, and I'm talking about the same person. What happens here?
So, this could be a potential playoff matchup. And this is going to be another tough one for the Quan. I'm without Jonathan Taylor this week. And like last week, what NJC said, it's kind of tough. Jonathan Taylor had like 6 points last week, and I put up like a whopping 100. So we'll see what happens. Looks like Oops is going to be without Juwan Johnson, his nice tight end pickup. Juwan Johnson looks like he's again resurging as a solid tight end. He had some weeks, took some weeks off, but with the new quarterback over there now, he's back at it again. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna be favored, but these ones are hard to win. He's coming off of a tough loss and a low score, and that usually means like his players are going to put up numbers the following week. And I'm coming off a monster week, so we'll see what happens. I'm glad JT is going into not glad, but good. He's going into a bye week after carrying the ball damn near 30 plus times, so he'll get some good rest coming in for week 12.
The greatest overseas game of all time. Right? I mean, high scoring, and just when you thought you couldn't get enough, the game goes into overtime. I mean, that was amazing. I get more of these points.
He
scored another touchdown in overtime.
I think that Jonathan Taylor has about 3 wives in Germany now, and he will forever be cemented there. He's going to do just fine in Germany. But tough one playing Oops, man. It's some playoff implications there, and so we shall see. And Oops is going to need a win. This is going to be Oops needs a win to maintain his his spot in the playoff rankings. There isn't anybody really challenging the current playoff spots other than Scum, who's had a lot of injuries that have now kind of put him hypothetically out of the playoff race, but you never know what's going to happen. But so he's going from possibly being a bye week team. If he loses this one, he almost certainly will probably be out of the contention for a bye week, and looking at playing one of you guys in the first round.
Yeah, Quan,
Plus,
you had previously mentioned in the Blitz, if I'm not mistaken, that the new Havoc, the Brucey, is not the Vussy in the way that that T Ruth Vussy matchup used to play out. You see where I'm going with this? Do I have to spell this one out? You've got your team. You've got Oops Babies here. Are we seeing the old Slurp 2.0 matchup, but in a different kind of way here? Is that what's evolving here? I guess we'll see this week.
And if I could piggyback on that, Scum, it's something, and my mind might be playing tricks on me. It just, Halloween just passed. Halloween fell on a weekend. My mind's playing tricks on me. One of my favorite songs of my youth. It was weird. It felt like there was this attachment to Oops roster that Quan had, where he would just he knew so much about the roster. It was weird because I wanted to catch it on video where it was Quan and Oops comes in and they do this big hug, and I'm like, oh look, the Collusion Cousins hug. And I was like, Oops, man, we're like, hell of a game. Let's watch it. And I just didn't feel. I'm like, Oops, you're about to knock off the Frogs. Like, where I didn't feel the energy from Oops for some reason. And I don't know. Maybe he's got stuff going on. I know he was going to go take his uncle over or pick up his uncle from SoFi or something. But it was just weird. I thought in that moment right there, we're going to watch this Sunday night game, and whoever came out on top will have a handshake in person, but he just walked out. He just left the house, and it just felt like for whatever reason, Quan seemed a little more invested than Oops was in that roster. I don't know why.
So, fake theory, fake news.
Things
You
that make
almost
you
lost
go,
to it. You almost lost to it, and that's about that.
Well, Quan even mentioned to me, he was like, if you lose to Oops, I'm going to bring out the Oops Upside Your Head song on the podcast. I was like, should Oops be doing this?
I was going to sing it myself.
But
whole
doing
verse.
that, right?
Yeah, man. Nobody glazes another team that much in any win that's not their own team. Quan, this is becoming egregious. All right, you don't want to incriminate yourself any more than this, brother. NJC, you have a hell of a matchup next week against Penthouse Pimps. You guys basically put the same, amount of points up, give or take a handful here. OG's not going down quietly. He could be the spoiler for you. I mean, you as well have playoff seeding implications, maybe a potential bye week implication here, win or lose. How you feeling about this? You are the most superstitious in the league.
I'm always going to be superstitious. I feel I'm positive about the matchup because this is the first time. Well, now my tight end got hurt, has a quad injury, but this is theoretically the first time my team, no one's on a bye week. I can kind of set my roster the best way and not have to make, stitch the best roster together. I guess I didn't want to say anything on the podcast, but there's been so many fantasy notifications. It's no secret. My 3-week rental of Joe Flacco begins this week. So not sure how long we're going to be riding that little roller coaster. So week by week, hopefully we get a win. I can tape a few more together to get a solidified spot and try to get the easiest path to the Super Bowl. We'll see.
Good luck with that. Our other matchups next week, maybe not so spicy. One of the 2-win teams will become a 3-win team. And then Ruth and the Sugan D's. Damn. That's that'll be a
Sugan D's has to reach into the depths of his Suganin, his succaning, to pull this one out. And he is committed to it. He will find a way.
We'll find a way. RJ Harvey
Awesome.
be damned. Anything outside the league cracking off? We heard the shout out to the LA Jets. Is it cross country or long distance, or what is the run club? What is that considered?
So they have a track team that does all of the track and field events, the sprints, the middle distance, the long distance, the field events. That runs from like December to June, July, and then from July till November is cross country, which for Audie's age, 13, 14, they run 4Ks. So just under 3-mile races. The last race was at Mount Sac. We're going to shut her down, man, for a couple months, and then we'll be back in track season. She's got 2 more track seasons and 1 more cross country season on the club circuit before high school.
Excellent. I mean, that's major shit, man. NJC used to run track, right? I always imagine like that would be sick to have 100-meter dash, just 5 people. Crazy stuff. Quan, you celebrated.
I think Quan
ran track too.
Did you
Quan
really?
ran track in high school.
No way. What was your event?
Yeah, I ran the 400, the triple jump, and the high jump.
Ooh, 400 sounds
And
hard. as fuck.
I was there really to prepare for basketball off season, and the ladies, like track was just, you got to stretch them out. It was just, I love track season. I look forward to that during the off season.
What was your favorite stretch, Quan?
I like the hamstring stretch,
You know what?
and
I'm having visions of Tyra Banks and Higher Learning right now, right? That's what happened in that movie, right?
it was better than that. I mean, Quan was in his prime during those days, so I used to stretch multiple teammates out. They would actually wait for me.
He was the team stretcher.
Yeah. That was a different
Lou's so
time.
friendly. Lou will stretch your legs out. No big
It was a
deal.
different time, boys.
Friend zone Lou.
Well, that reminds me of a funny story. If you guys don't mind, it is somewhat NFL related. I was an athlete for a while in my youth, and when I got to college, I took a student worker job as a manager for the Cal Bears football team, notable for being coached by Tom Homo, where we had won 0 games, I believe my senior year, and we played Rutgers in the Toilet Bowl at the end of the season. It was a game that was scheduled for preseason because you play that before you get into their Pac-12 games, but it was 9/11. And Rutgers is in New York, so that game got pushed to the end of the season, and we both were winless. Honestly, I don't even remember who won that game. I'll say we did. We did get to go to New York. We got to go to the David Letterman show, but those were the highlights. The low light that I wanted to bring up, because I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of this, the stretching. And I hadn't thought about this for years, but we had a frat brother, Nnamdi Asomugha, who was on the Cal football team. And I remember before a game, he called me over. He's like, Lennon, pro fight, my dean, can you do me a favor and help stretch me out? And I did the hamstring stretch on a grown man, and it was very awkward. So there's all homo. There's some more of my past history that you can hold against me with future videos.
All right.
Flip that. It looks like you were right. Cal won that game 20-10. So good call. 1-10 that season.
Great. It was all due to your wonderful stretching.
Look at
Great
that.
stretching and a pitch to paint more of the picture. He had this routine where he would listen to Phil Collins with the drum line. What's the name of the song? The
Heat.
famous film.
Air of the
Yeah.
night.
Air of the Night, something like that.
So he's listening to that, and we're trying to avoid eye contact. Very gay situation that I was in there. Anything for my neos.
Wait, I'm trying to Google it. The hamstring stretch is where you lean over. Is that the one? Like you're real close to the face?
Oh yeah.
Is that the one?
Some good old
push
manly face.
that leg back, knees to face.
All right. So there's Frog who's like doing his
Ankles
best to
in the
whistle
air.
along. Yeah, there's Frog doing his best to whistle along, and then there's
Quan
you
just
just
making
like
deep eye contact. How's that deeper?
is that your dick? Oh my god. Who knew? All right, guys.
I do have
Yeah,
one topic
right.
that became a bit of a heated, not heated, but a popular conversation at the Quan's household. There have been some documentaries and some biopics that have come out recently. I watched one today, John Candy, I Like Me doc on Prime Video. John Candy was a hell of a dude, man. Like the nicest guy. He was a main character in many of my favorite childhood films, films that have been discussed previously on the pod, like Spaceballs, where he played Mog, the half man, half dog. And he was in arguably my favorite childhood film was Splash, man. I was in love with the lead actress, the whole mermaid thing, man. I think John Candy as a kid would drop the pennies and try and look up girl skirts. I love that movie. It was a tearjerker, the documentary, man. Just losing John Candy at 43 and just seeing how many lives he impacted and all the actors that he worked with. It's a good one to check out on Prime. And then I have one more. You can feel free to talk about this one, but I have one more that dropped a trailer this week. It's the Michael Jackson biopic trailer dropped. Wondering if you guys have seen it and if you have any thoughts on that one.
I think everybody is curious, like how deep are they going to go? What are they?
So we had that conversation, Quan, and I saw a note. I should have screenshotted it, but apparently it will be touched on at least a little bit.
No pun intended. No pun intended with that. That was crazy. That's what he said, and we're
That was
out.
good.
No,
That was good.
that will be interesting, man.
Apparently it was, unless it's been edited down, at one point it was a 4-hour film. I think it's a little over 3 hours now. Apparently you're going to get 30 of his hits, almost covering his entire catalog. His nephew's playing him. The trailer to me looked pretty good. I don't know, man. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I'm hoping for the best. I like a good biopic. I hate a terrible biopic. They do have the rights to the music. I think his nephew looks just like him. So I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah. The directors of Bohemian Rhapsody is going to do it. And I thought that was a pretty
Oh,
decent movie.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah, that was that was great. You know, we'll see, man. Michael Jackson, true icon, true legend.
Mm-hmm.
They
I
fucking-
told Lennon, I was like, dude, my kids are Michael Jackson fans because I've played his music videos, his short films that still today nobody has matched. This dude made actual short films that we sat in front of the TV waiting to watch to come on national television.
Used to be on network TV, exactly. Man.
National
The premiere of Black or White. And you're like,
yeah,
oh, shit.
right.
I gotta hurry up, Mom.
All right. There's no artist that has commanded that since then. And but I'm curious. I'm curious on how the movie. I'm worried. Should I go see the movie with my kids? Like they have no clue about the allegations. They just know Michael Jackson.
Given your kid's age, it's definitely one you'll probably want to go see first, just to
Yeah. Like
See
they're
if
like,
get that one out.
what is this? Oh, what happened? Explain this to me, Daddy.
Daddy, why is the kid from Home Alone in this movie?
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
He was just McCullying his Culkin.
Oh no. You can trust what Corey Feldman said, dude. That guy's sure as shit. He said he was never touched by Michael Jackson. Never. Poor Mike. Wow. Anyway, we'll see. I don't think there are very few artists. I mean, truly, he gets compared to Elvis a lot in his iconic in the way he impacted pop culture. And I feel like both of those people were just manipulated to death. Just whatever makes the people around you money, or whoever's managing you, or however you can be. I feel like he had a lot of parasites on him, man, and steered in the wrong direction, and a little kooky, but hey,
There's this comedian that just his jokes going viral right now. He talked about, I think he was at the Playboy Mansion at a party with Eddie Murphy and a couple other comedians, and they see Michael Jackson in the distance, and he's sitting on a swing inside the Playboy Mansion with Tom Cruise, and they're swinging back and forth. And he said, I didn't realize how white Michael was until I saw him sitting next to Tom Cruise, and he was whiter than him.
Wow.
Okay.
There's more to the joke, and it's if you find it, it's funny. But yeah, speaking of just the manipulation, the changes that he went through from the Jackson 5 to the guy that we saw at the end.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was vitiligo. I think there was a lot more of that. But hey, man, I guess we'll find out.
Wait, you're saying he wasn't vitiligo? It was Goodbye Negro? Wow.
There was a lot going on, man. A lot, dude. Drugs involved later in his life. You throw that shit in there, or maybe all of his life. I don't know, man. I don't want to be smirched the guy. I just remember where I was when he died. It's definitely one of those moments where you find out someone died and you're like, I
cried. I was at two places I remember, the non-family, Kobe and Michael Jackson.
Kobe and Mike. I was thinking the same thing, man.
Tupac for me too in LA, man. Tupac.
Ooh. Well, when he got shot or the night he died? Because I remember the night.
I think when he got shot was bigger.
Well, that and then just following it, right? Like we
Yeah.
didn't have social media, so like there's rumors and innuendos, and you're like, is he
But you know
going to make
what?
it? Is he not?
That's a good point, Coop. But because, and obviously I'm not trying to be morbid, but because it kind of played out, we were preparing I mean, it was a shock moment that played out in front of us. But like,
he survived the first time, you never knew with Tupac, and then like Coop said,
Nipsey was pretty big too, though.
Nipsey was pretty shocking too. Nipsey was tough.
We've had good biopics. We're hoping for a good one with Michael. Tupac, Biggie biopics are probably two of the worst that have ever been created. It brought up a question to the Laker fans. We've been talking about Lakers on this episode. You got the photo, the poster in the back, Nick. Will there be a Kobe Bryant biopic?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm sure there will be. I'm sure somewhere along the lines.
I don't think
his story is too incredible.
It'll be. I don't think that. I mean, will we accept anybody playing Kobe?
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen. I mean, the documentary still hasn't come out, right? Wasn't there a documentary?
But I think to somebody's point, to Lewis's nephew's point, there's no Michael Jordan biopic, and the what we got was the documentary, and there is the big Netflix documentary that's coming out, I think next year on Kobe, and for those athletes at that elite level, do they even make strong films? Right, the best biopics or the best sports films that we've seen are all these unknown stories, these Rudies, these stories of like not the major guys, but these incredible stories about guys we didn't know anything about.
Yeah, I think you're right because we know too much about these guys. But MJ's still around, and Kobe is not. So I would say, the other biopics that you mentioned that were terrible, those guys had long since passed. And I think that anything is possible given enough time. But you're right, and that's probably why you have to wait, because there has to be a generation that's like, what? Who was Kobe Bryant? But there's also a lot out there publicly that didn't exist about those other guys publicly that you can find now about stars. So I don't know. Maybe I rescind my statement. Maybe there won't be.
The other tricky part is the buy-in from the family, right? With Michael Jackson biopic, you need the buy-in to tell the story. You need the buy-in to get the rights to the music. If you need Vanessa Bryant's buy-in on the Kobe Bryant biopic, what story is she going to be allowed to tell, right? Are you going to get the Denver situation? Are you going to get the helicopter at the end with their daughter? Like, I feel like there's certain things that she is not going to sign off on his movie, which would impact its ability to be great or not.
The authenticity. Yeah.
That probably will never happen given the circumstances, and
Yeah.
probably
Vanessa's not
shouldn't,
signing
man.
off,
Who
though.
wants to revisit any of that sad shit, man? That's terrible.
If it wasn't Gigi in the crash, maybe you'd get it. But with Gigi, you got a living thing out there. Just I don't know, bro. I don't know.
They're
Can't
trying to
answer for that.
reimagine what those last moments were like. I don't want to see that shit now.
Exactly, bro. Like,
It's like the Passion of the Christ. Like I see that movie one time, I'm like, I never
want to see it again. Yeah.
I never.
I mean, hopefully, if they
watch it.
did do a biopic, that they would just the end of the movie would be them getting on the helicopter or some shit, since we know what happens.
Nah, that's terrible. That already sounds bad. Like they're all bye. And then
I'm just saying, like, you don't want to. You want it to like fade off into something else, or like. But typically, you know what? If they do get a Kobe biopic, it may be just like, 8, not 24, or like it'll be a snapshot of his career or a moment in time.
Eight got eight is where Denver ends.
Well, you understand what
Eight
I'm
is
saying.
like-
Maybe
that's how
do
that
like a
movie ends. It's
snapshot.
all,
Maybe they
Yeah,
he closes the hotel door and he's all bye. And that's where-
But I'd watch a childhood Bean watching his dad, childhood Kobe high school, going to the Lakers, getting drafted, Shaq B, first championships, three-peat. I'd watch that.
They have a book though. Maybe they'll make the 3-ring circus book that writer Jeff Pearlman they made the winning time off of, because there is that story that would be interesting to watch. Yeah, absolutely. I could watch that story again and again, even though I know how it plays out and I know what's going to transpire. Hell yeah.
There's some. I know there's a story to cover of his relationship with his family.
That too.
So that is what we don't have an in-depth knowledge of. Is I believe I think his father was really strict growing up, and then
They tripped out on Vanessa, and that was it.
A Vanessa thing, and I think he was like, I'm an adult now, so I'm gonna show you. And then they didn't talk for years.
Yeah.
So
He had his sister. You know what I mean? There's a lot to that dynamic. Like, it was a really weird family dynamic.
So they may that may be the interesting piece of the story that we don't know about. That would be cool to see. But I'm curious. They're gonna see the pilot going, hey, it's foggy today, but we're still good.
Damn. That was all bad, Lou. That was all bad.
Look, Gigi, there's Dodger Stadium down there. That's where the Dynasty plays at.
For the pod ends for the week, guys. This has been Week 10 Fantasy Football Recap and Good Sunday Podcast. For the fellas, Rebel Scum, signing off. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Got a chance to talk to my old friend today, and I know he's loving that from number 28. He's going nowhere. And once again, the patience. Just get up there, hug the offensive line, keep the legs moving, and then you see the breakout, the explosive speed. A little bit of a stiff arm there on A.J. Terrell, and he's taking it the distance and base. You're going to see Jesse Bates here, one-on-one situation. Bring your own blocker. Boom, right there, a little stick to the outside.